Hey welcome back to another Poem Masters video, and today let's talk a bit about the new units now that we've got a few days sitting on them and going over stuff. And yeah, again, I know it's super late. I usually do these earlier, but I'm in the middle semester, and you guys know middle semester is just a mess, right? Fantastic. So anyways, okay, so it's the anniversary. Got a lot of really good units. I mean, it's an anniversary. Usually anniversaries, you get good units. Maybe except for second anniversary. But look, man, second anniversary units, they weren't bad. It was just, in comparison to like some of the units that came like right before them, it was kind of like, really? That's the best you could pull? But no. These units are some really legitimately like powerful units, right? But yeah, let's go over them and sort of do the thing, right? So anyways, this as usual. So yeah, these aren't they're not serious, just for entertainment purposes. So let's go through these. I mean, let's start from the bottom, I guess. It's pretty obvious. I mean, the bottom is Lorelei, unfortunately. I mean, she got a grid, and her biggest issue was lack of an identity as a unit. And the grid did not fix that at all. Does not really give her an identity. She got like a bit of, this, a bit of that. Like, I got a bit of a nuke, got a bit of some tanking stuff, got a bit of freezing stuff. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what she was supposed to like not do. Because instead of doing like 3 different things terribly, she does 3 things pretty badly now. So that's, yeah, just unfortunate situation with Lapras and the grid over there. So that one kind of sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. Next, probably Surge. I mean, Surge, you got an EX. Doesn't change that much. I mean, he could nuke a bit low key. He could nuke low key nuke a bit. Obviously, he does want a lot of setup for a team for him to nuke, which is kind of awkward. But I mean, and if you're running like Lecturing unit, if you're running like Thermal Red, then you're probably not nuke Surge. But I mean, yeah, it's the EX part doesn't matter that much. He's just an alright unit, right? For what he does. He's pretty fast. He has some nice debuffs for well, relatively nice for a 3-star Stumble unit. So yeah, all that is it's pretty neat. He's alright. So anyways, moving on. Gloria is at least she has enough Standfast 9 so she doesn't like completely explode herself every time she attacks. So that's nice. At least the overall damage isn't that crazy, right? I mean, like 700k I'd say 700k is just like average-ish now for modern units, and especially for like a unit that does like recoil, like you're doing the recoil for like that amount of damage, which is kind of it's just kind of whatever, right? But I mean, she's free if you have plate base Gloria at least. So yeah, it's not anything crazy, unfortunately. Okay, anyways, moving on. Next up, we got our MC and Torchic. Finally got that grid, which is very, very nice. No support EX yet, unfortunately. And again, I don't know how they're gonna do MC EXs overall, honestly. So we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, she's fine, right? She got the basic stuff that she really needed, which is just, you're a support. Just get the MPRs, and you're good, right? Yeah, it's nice, but it's a lot of just other stuff like adrenaline, synchro healing, right? It just would have been really, really, really nice if she also had a support EX over here to help with it. But yeah, I mean, you got some hidden heal. That's neat. But again, the main ones are like she got this, she got this, right? Like these are 2 important ones. Everything else is just extra, Escape Artist for trolling Entei. This stuff I'm honestly not a huge fan of. It's like way too slow. Fast Track 9 is fine, but like don't really need it. Like she already has Flame Charge. Hostile Environment, like Quick Tempo, like yeah, it's a lot of just small, nice things. But at least she got the NPRs, which is, again, the thing that you probably want the most. Next up, probably Ball Guy. Also, Ball Guy did want to clarify something, right? In terms of his trainer move, it's actually not as bad as I initially thought. It's like, initially I read it was like, man, activates one of the several of additional effects at random. And I thought, like, these are the additional effects, which, I mean, if those were the additional effects, that's just garbage. But thankfully it's not, right? So these are the 3 things that guarantee activates, right? Like, all 3 of these are happening every single time. The additional effects are, like, other things. Like, those are, like, extra, right? So every time you use the trainer move, you're getting, what, 10% HP back. You're removing all status conditions from your team. You're buffing your team's crit by 1, right? And you know, that's okay. I mean, it's still not that great for crit buffing, but at least after like 6 turns, you know, you could get it or max out. But yeah, but it's just you have like infinite status condition curing theoretically, and then if you can status the opponent, and you have like infinite what's it called, like clear smogs. So that's always just really nice. It's just like stuff like the speed still kind of sucks. Overall doesn't really do that much, right? Like the on the ball, the additional effects are RNG, right? Let me pull up the list of additional effects. So okay, so yeah, there's like special defense and speed and attack and special attack and defense, just like all those stats. There's like a chance of getting like +1 on that, which clearly is not a very not a very high chance. Yeah, so and then there's like a even a smaller chance. I mean, the chance of getting at least 1 stat buff is relatively high, right? I think it's like, what, 75% to get at least 1 of those stat buffs, but like which one you get specifically, obviously it's split between like a lot of these, right? But then there's like a 10% chance that you get physical and special move up next, which if you do get that, that's pretty nice. And there's another one that is also 10%, which is you heal 30 or 20%, which combined with the extra 10%, it's like 30%, which is decent amount of heals, right? And then there's a 5% chance to give your team super effective up next, which that would be really nice, but it's like 5%, so yeah. But again, on the bright side, at least he could get like theoretically infinite amount of uses on that. So, you know, you keep fishing for it. Right? It's just that again, the chances of getting anything outside of just a random, because the random stat buff, it's like obviously you can't really rely on that to max out any multipliers or max out like your offensive stats. It's just nice if you get like an extra like speed maybe, or like an extra defense / special defense depending on what stage you're facing, would be nice. But yeah, it's yeah, he's okay. He's just very, like, I feel like he's like a definition of like a mid unit. He's not like terrible, but he's also not like, yeah, right? So okay, so yeah, that's point with Ball Guy. It's Ball Guy though, and his EX is a freaking great ball, so, which is fantastic. Okay, anyways, moving on. Next up, maybe Gloria. Gloria got a really nice grid, low key. I know everyone's talking about the Lance one, and you know Lance got a great grid too, but Gloria is just really nice, man. Like, look at Gloria's grid. Again, just a completely like useless grid, and then boom, you get stuff like Haymaker, Crit Strike 2, you know, Defense Crush, Steel Rebuff. Hello, right? It's only 1, but I mean, still, right? You want what? You take 1, right? They give you 1, you take 1. And even Super Preparation can be useful in certain scenarios, although it's less so for like Gloria. Like, Gloria's nuke is kind of odd, just because you do need the opponent to sink first before you get that like initial multiplier over here. Not that you have to have it, but obviously it's a really nice buff. But you know, again, if you can't get that plus the Haymaker, plus if you get super effective up next as well on that, that's gonna be nasty, right? Also the Steel rebuff, she's nasty kit, right? Potentially. So yeah, this is a good balancing out for a unit that has like a just dog water grid, honestly. Just terrible grid before, and now you got a lot of really great stuff. So yeah, Gloria low-key really nice, man. Really nice. Okay, so next up, let's see who. Maybe Raihan. Raihan's got a nice grid too. Annie Raihan, right? Just really, yeah, she's got the extra sun extension, which is cool. He got the max countdown 2, which situationally could be really nice as well. Sync damage guard I don't care too much about. Although Raihan can low-key tank a bit, not a lot, but he can low-key tank a bit. Yeah, you also got the disarm thing, which is nice. Alright, it's like they gave him like a noble roar basically on all his moves. And he's just even outside of the new stuff that he got, he's just always like a solid unit, right? Very underrated unit in my opinion. Yeah, he's you got sun, you got sand, right? You can use both of them, especially against something like Drakion. That's gonna be really nice. Yeah, that's like without NPRs, you got like three weathers that both you could extend as well. Like that's gonna be really good against Drakion, man. That's gonna be great against Drakion. And also, super effective up next your entire team as well. He's a very underrated unit. Like the big thing is he doesn't do any DPS, but like okay, but he does like so many other like great things, right? But yeah, like for like the next like few units, honestly, I don't really know who I would prefer higher, but that's up to you. I feel like they're all pretty close. Speaking of Lance, oh my god, the glow up of this man, holy, it's beautiful. Got Fierce Brain, which he totally did not, like, she did not need this, like, he did not need this, man. Totally unnecessary, but he got it anyways, and good for him, honestly. Haymaker as well, like crit eye, ramp up, and then boom, you got like this, which is +6 attack and special attack, like straight up. Like his issues, almost all of his issues, like the only one is probably just gauges, right? Like outside of gauges, I mean, at least using this one isn't just like complete fodder now, but it's but yeah, he's great, man. Holy, like again, he was just like a unit that always was good in terms of as a striker, right? You want him to do damage, and he always did his job. Like he always had a good hyper beam. It's just even better now for no reason, and he got a really good striker nuke there too. Like he's literally like holy, he's close to being like Singsu Serena, which is like insane, right? Which is insane. So yeah, great unit, fantastic glow up. I would say glow up of the year, but it's like it's only like March, so might be a bit too soon. But anyways, moving on. Mei, who probably not even probably, I would say definitely got like the weakest upgrade of all of these. Like her upgrade is really just honestly whatever, right? Like who cares? Like she's got so many other better stuff on her grid to really pick up. Like you're not picking up any of this stuff. But it's just that like she's a good unit. Right? She's a good unit, and not only because she's a good unit, the units that she supports are really good, right? The units that she supports are really good. Like look at the stuff that you run her with, right? Latios, run her with Latios, she goes insane. Run her with Singsu Steven, right? Goes insane. Lear, Singsu Luzamine. You know the deal, right? Like it's just crazy teams and units that she just goes like insane with. And yeah, again, she's a good individual unit as well, but it's more so like the units that you do kind of run her with. So next one, well, I mean, it's the 3 Galarian champions over here, obviously, right? I mean, there are 3 new Master Fairs. They're all really good. But yeah, they're really good, man. So I'm sure a lot of you probably have opinions one way or another about these units, and I have some too. I mean, that's point of this video is just to give you my opinion. So about these 3 Galarian birds. All right. Here's what I thought initially. Initially, I was thinking, well, Marnie at the top, right? You know, great damage dealer, and then we'll have Hop, and then like maybe Bede. But then after some discussion with Runner, honestly, he convinced me. He convinced me to not go this way. So it's something like this: Hop, and then Bede, and then Marnie. Let's talk about maybe like the less controversial one, which is Marnie. I feel like Marnie's probably the least controversial of the 3, and Marnie is really good. Like, I mean, honestly, this is not the correct place to this is not the correct website to talk about Marnie. This is the correct website to talk about Marnie. Like, oh my god, man! Like, again, just unbelievable damage dealer, right? Crazy B move, regular move, sync move as well, right? Like, oh, it's unreal. Obviously, so it's. I mean, the argument for Marnie is very much just, she's one of the best damage dealers in the game, right? Even you know, as a person who don't really care about strikers and like damage dealing overall, like I really don't. It's sometimes they just hit so hard that you're like, okay, yeah, I mean, sure, right? So as for the other 2, the reason I initially thought like I'd have like Hop over Bede, right, was because like if you look at Hop's kit, he has a lot of really great stuff in there, man. Like legitimately, like the defense debuffs on Thunder's kick is great, and then you got, you know, further defense and speed debuffs on this, and you know, assuming you can use this more than once, which from the wording it seems like you can, right, which is going to be great. Same thing with the Marnie and Bede's stuff as well, right? Like, that's really nice. that is really nice, on top of also, right, on top of also, you know, having it debuff the opponent's special defense as well, right? So it's like it's a max defense and special defense debuffer, which is crazy. And then obviously the master passive, but I mean all 3 of them have master passives. Duh. Then you also have like straight up attack +6 and max crit buffs for your entire team. Fighting zone, right? You know, got good, decent at least speed 2, right? Like I was like, oh man, it's gotta be really good, right? Like I was even kind of debating like, oh, Marnie or Hop, honestly, for like the best one of this bunch. But then, you know, also damage wise, he's pretty good too, right? Then really gave me the argument of, well, yeah, he's good at doing all these things, and it's not that like Hop is like bad or whatever. It's just, Bede is really good of a support. But also, Hop's biggest issue is kind of like, if you look at the fighting types in the game, damage dealers, right? Because, you know, that's what you want to run with Zone. Not the best pool of units. Not the best pool of units. Like, your best one here is what? SC Diantha? And she's good, right? But like outside of that, it's like Guzma's problematic. Bede is just all right. Wally is, even with the grid buff, is still kind of problematic, has a lot of issues, right? And even if you look at some like fully fighting units, right? It's like Dojo Gloria should be pretty good, but it's also Dojo Gloria slightly redundant with Hop here as well, so like you can maybe have an argument where maybe you could run like Aura Cynthia with Dojo Gloria instead, although you do have like the master passive at least, so that's neat. But you know, it's like there's that, and like Sogaleo, right? And yeah, it's just fighting units overall are just not that strong, and a big And a big indicator of how good a you know, a zone setter or weather setter or terrain setter, right, is kind of dependent on the units that it buffs, right? Because like, yeah, if you look at like hail, right, there are some really nice hail units. Like Palatine's Bede is really, really nice. And if you look at like, you know, her hail supporting capabilities, units that use hail overall are not that great, right? Most of them are not that great. And which is why most of the time, if you see people running Palatine's Bede, people don't run her with hail units, right? You're just running her with mostly just like, you know, just physical damage dealers or whatever, right? And that's just like a big part of her kit is kind of just mediocre, just because again of the units that she helps buffs and all that stuff. So that's kind of Hop's issue, right? That is kind of Hop's issue. And you know, if you look again, like the best one is like SC Diantha, and even SC Diantha, he doesn't even like work with SC Diantha crazy good, right? You know, he has the debuffs, but SC Diantha could also debuff it herself, but whatever, right? And like most fighting type units are physical, except for the best one. Except for the best one, which is special. So it's you kind of got a bit of a SE Ingo issue with him, right? In a way. Again, it's really not that like he's like terrible or whatever, right? Like he's not. He got a lot of great, like the debuffs are crazy, the crit buffs are amazing, right? All that stuff. Well, maybe not amazing, but just like really good. And yeah, he's really good unit. On the other hand, Bede is legitimately might be like the best support in the game for almost every team that does not run a weather zone terrain setter as their support, right? So teams that don't run weather terrain zone setting supports, you look at Bede, and Bede might legitimately be like the best support in the game for teams like that, right? Which is kind of good. Like, first of all, again, max attack, special attack, crit buffs for your entire team, and then you get like, you know, the physical special move up next every time as well, right? You know, Galar Flag Bearer, which buffs both. What else? Like, it's, yeah, you get this back, and from the wording, you know, pretty much you're getting like after every sync, you're getting your MP back, right? You're getting your MP back for your trainer move. You're getting it back for your this, right? B Freezing Glare. And that gives you a free move next as well, which you could use on your trainer move, which costs 4 gauges. Or you could use it on like an extra Freezing Glare, which from a support, you know, outputting that type of damage is legitimate, right? I mean, you know, you guys see how hard for a support. Seeing Super Ending hits, right? And this should be even more, honestly. Should be even more, which is wow, which is really good. It really is legitimately a solid unit. And you know, if you're going for like something like a mass mode, a faster stage, you get this as well. Super effective up next to your entire team too. On top of all that, recuperation too for longer battles. If you're going gauntlet, well, you kind of got something for everything, right? Like, you want to fight Yuxi where you need a status and inflict, well, you got that confusion. And then you got hostile environment on freeze as well. So, team sharp entry. If you want to, again, faster stages where you don't want to use this, like, I don't know. I mean, you kind of want to use it again anyways. I don't know about you. You know what? Team sharp entry kind of whatever. But yeah, it's just really good. Just, yeah, like, again, if you look at all the supports in the game, right? When you're not running a support that sets terrain, zone, or weather, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's really like it's like Bede and like maybe it's probably just between Bede and Singsu Brendan, I'd say, right? Bede or Singsu Brendan. And Singsu Brendan leans more heavily into, obviously, you know, on special teams, and Bede's more so for like any, right? Who else is there? Like Jasmine? Maybe because she got a lot of like the extra stuff, but like, you know, her basics aren't that great in terms of just offensive buffs. Basic offensive buffs aren't the best. But yeah, it really is one of the better ones. So that's I'd say at least top 2, right? And even Brendan, honestly. Oh, another one, Cresselia, right? I guess between these 3. I don't know, man. She's really good, right? Articuno. So, damn, it's great. That's the wrong. Yeah, whoops. Here it is. But hey, look, if you want to say Hop's better, that's fine. If you want to say Hop's better than Marnie, that's fine. If you want to say Bede's better than Marnie, I would disagree, but you know, fine, right? But yeah, that's just sort of the conclusion I came to. But look, man, if you're like, oh man, I want to spend my gems on, again, these videos are not a video to tell you which ones to pull, you know, or whatever, right? Because it depends. There's a lot of factors other than how good a unit is individually. But look, I'm just saying, whichever one you pull on Marnie, you pull on Bede, you pull on Hop. The best one is the one that you could pull. The best one is the one you get, all right? The worst one is the banner you got shafted on. The best one is whichever one you get. They're all good, man. Whichever one of these 3 you get is a W, as long as you could safely get one. So yeah, just again, always make sure you have 36.6k gems before pulling, just in case you get shafted. And I'm pretty sure we should be able to clear 36.6k free gems this month, right? Just from free gems. Pretty sure we could clear that. So yeah, well, at least you get one of these for free. And again, whichever one you get. Want to get Hop, want to get Bede, want to get Marnie. You want to get Annie May on her rerun, which, you know, she's still really good, low-key. Yeah, all W's, they're all really good. So, okay, anyways, yeah, that's for this one. I guess hope you all remember, guys. Think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy the videos from our channel for some more Palm content. And I'll see you guys in the next one then.